This meeting of the Terrebonne Parish Council is now called to order. Please rise for an invocation by Mr. Danny Babin and the Pledge of Allegiance by Mr. John Navy.
Lord, give us guidance, wisdom, and understanding. Protect us from storms in this hurricane season. And let us keep in our thoughts and prayers tonight Miss Orlando Williams and her family at this time of loss. God has chosen to take her niece at birth. She has become God's newest angel. We ask this and all in your name. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Babin and Mr. Navy. Ms. Triggs, may we have roll call?
Mr. Hood. Present. Ms. Amity.
Here.
Mr. Plannis-Prather.
Here.
Mr. Hornsby. Mr. Babin.
Here.
Mr. Guidry.
Here.
Mr. Lambert.
Here.
Mr. Navy.
Here.
Ms. Williams. Madam Chair, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. I've received 2 letters that I'd like to read. The first is from Councilmember Russell Hornsby. Due to an out-of-town business commitment, I will be unable to attend Wednesday's council meeting. Please extend my apology to the council members for my absence. I will keep myself up to date on the matters addressed. Thanks. And the second from Councilwoman Orlando Williams. Please be advised that I will be unable to attend this evening's meeting due to an emergency family matter for which I am traveling out of state. I will, of course, follow up on actions taken and anything that may need my particular attention once I return. Next, approve the minutes of the regular council session held on July 10th, 2013. Moved by Mr. Plannis-Prather, second by Mr. Navy. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Distribute the minutes of the regular council session held on July 24th, 2013. Distribute the minutes of the special council session held on July 29th, 2013. Approve accounts payable bill list dated July 29th, 2013, August 5th, 2013, and August 12th, 2013. Moved by Mr. Plannis-Prather, second by Mr. Navy. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Please show one abstention. Amadei. Motion passes. Item 1, general business. A, congratulating Cardiovascular Institute of the South, CIS, and Terrebonne General Medical Center, TGMC, for a 30-year partnership in the Houma Terrebonne community. Mr. Plannis-Prather.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and it is an honor and a privilege to read this tonight on behalf of CIS, Dr. Craig Walker, and Terrebonne General, Ms. Peoples, and all the staff at both institutions. And the proclamation reads, whereas heart disease ranks as one of the leading causes of death in the United States and has claimed the lives of numerous residents of South Louisiana, and whereas Terrebonne Parish, a native, Dr. Craig Walker, MD, interventional cardiologist, has long been recognized as a national and international innovator in the field of cardiovascular health, and is the founder and president and medical director of Cardiovascular Institute of the South, CIS. And whereas in 1983, Dr. Walker began the task of assembling the best and the brightest and the most groundbreaking medical professionals in the field of cardiovascular health care to form the Houma Heart Clinic as a center for the development of new and improved techniques for the treatment of both coronary and peripheral arterial disease. And whereas the clinic has grown to become Cardiovascular Institute of the South, a world-renowned practice in which Dr. Walker, with his pioneer spirit and vision, and the world-renowned CIS team, has devoted their careers toward life-saving and compassionate care with their partner, Terrebonne General Medical Center, TGMC, for 30 years. And whereas individuals from throughout the United States and from numerous foreign countries have identified and appreciated the talent and facilities found in the teamwork of CIS and TGMC, and have traveled to Houma, Louisiana to have cardiovascular surgery performed in this community. And whereas over the last 30 years, thousands of individuals are still enjoying an outstanding quality of life due to the team of CIS healthcare professionals and the facilities at TGMC. And whereas not satisfied with accepting past successes, CIS and TGMC are performing intensive research in the field of cardiovascular medicine and are the nationally recognized leaders in a technique which allows individuals who may not be candidates for standard open chest surgery to have a procedure which will certainly enhance their opportunities for a longer and more productive life. And whereas Dr. Walker, co-founder, one of the largest cardiovascular conferences in the nation, New Cardiovascular Horizons, which is attended by physicians and medical professionals from around the world so that they may learn the latest techniques to treat coronary artery peripheral vascular disease. And whereas the residents of Terrebonne Parish and the surrounding area are uniquely fortunate that the partnership of CIS and TGMC offers them increased opportunities for a longer and healthier life. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Terrebonne Parish Council and the Parish President, Michelle Claudet, on behalf of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, that the partnership of Cardiovascular Institute of the South and Terrebonne General Medical Center be congratulated on their 30-year partnership, and that both entitled to be thanked for their unparalleled professionalism in the field of cardiovascular health in our community. It's signed by our parish president, Mr. Michelle Claudet, and signed by our council chairwoman, Ms. Beryl Amadei, and the entire Terrebonne Parish Council. Would Dr. Walker and Ms. Phyllis Peoples please come to the podium?
It is indeed an honor for me to address this group and to say thank you for what you've allowed us to do. You know, I grew up in this parish. I went to public school. I went to South Terrebonne. And I remember a little over 30 years ago, one of the people that I was calling was Krista's dad, Mr. Floyd Duplantis, who at the time was working on the parish council. We're telling him about how we wanted to come back here and establish a practice. There was a lot of resistance at the time, and he gave me many of the hints about things that we should do that might work. It was always a dream that I had growing up that one day we could come back and be a part of this community, improve healthcare education, taking in our young students who are going to one day be doctors or nurses or who are involved in this profession, and try to help them have a head start so that when they go off to their graduate schools, they're just a little bit better than some of their competitors and come back and really help push things. You've given us a platform for that. You've given us a world-class hospital from which we can work, the support that we've needed to be able to do these things, and frankly, a community that's a lovely place to live and to raise children. Today, my little boy started his first day of real school, kindergarten, and that was a big day for us, and we were on sort of pins and needles wondering how that would work, and he had a great time. But we really appreciate what has happened here, and frankly, we're excited about what has happened in this area. Just today, I was called and told that we have been selected as sites for 2 huge, very important clinical trials in just one day. But we've participated in hundreds of trials over time, and I don't think people really always understand just how big these trials are. When there were only 5 centers in the whole world that had a stent, we had one in Houma. It's hard to imagine, but Texas Heart didn't have them. Big places didn't have them. We had them in little bitty Houma, Louisiana. When there were only 10 sites with coronary stents, for the heart, we were one of those 10. We've been first-tier investigators for most of those things. And so you've allowed us an opportunity to not just treat people and improve health and live in a very nice community, but to really be active participants in how medicine is changed. And we're not going to change that. We want to stay on the leading edge of medicine. We don't just change for change. That's not good. But we've recognized something a long time ago. You cannot get better unless you change. If you change, you might get worse too, but you cannot get better unless you change. So we have constantly looked for ways to get better. We've constantly tried to find those new and better technologies and work with them. We've helped to develop some of those and some of the techniques. And finally, we have devoted ourselves to trying to teach the future generation who are doing this, not just here, but around the rest of the country, because we have an obligation to improve healthcare with our fellow healthcare professionals. So for all of that, I thank you. This means a lot to us and to our group for what we do. We plan to remain good citizens as well as practitioners. We thank you for all your help. Thank you so much.
As Dr. Walker said, I just want to say thank you very much. Thank you, President Claude. Thank you, Council Chair Amity. Thank you to all the councilmen and women here who lead our community every day. We've been working in healthcare for many, many years. As Dr. Walker said, 30 years. I know that he's been here. I've been CEO, if you can believe it's already 11 years and progressing. I've been at that organization close to 19 years. But in all that time, our commitment to cardiovascular services has continued to grow. We're an extraordinarily progressive organization. I have to thank the council here because you help appoint our board who continues to keep us on the cutting edge as we continue to support that particular initiative. As Dr. Walker said, it's always something that we have known that has been very progressive in our particular community. Heart disease is extraordinarily prevalent. If you yourself haven't experienced it, I know someone in your family. If not, we all continue to age. I promise you we will get there as much as we don't want to. The food's too good, the lifestyle's too wonderful, and we seem to recognize that those are all challenges for us. However, we know Terrebonne General would not have grown in the way that it has grown without the partnership with CIS. And as we both spoke even before this meeting, as CIS continue to grow on behalf of Terrebonne General, but Terrebonne General considerably continue to grow because of CIS. So we are a world-renowned leader in cardiovascular services. We recognize that's through our partnership, and we'll continue to have that for many, many more years, as we've already stated. And we'll continue to make that commitment to our community, and even further, as Dr. Walker said, we do international work there now. So we do not just here, not just in our region, our state, but we are truly a national and international site for many of the progressive things that are being performed today. So we appreciate your support. We hope that you don't have to see us for those particular disease processes, but if you do, you know we're here and we'll take wonderful care of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Would y'all please remain? We have a few council members who would like to comment. Dr. Walker, please remain at the mic for a moment.
And I still have a few comments to make.
You have the line.
Yes, just a few, because I could stay up here and go on and on about CIS and Terrebonne General. And like you said, Dr. Walker, my dad, I remember those talks. Actually, I just come across the letter that you had sent him, because we're going through a lot of things over at the house. The unfortunate thing is that my dad wasn't able to use the facilities because he did die with an MI. And that was a very tough time, but who would have thought if he would have listened and gone and utilized, you know, what he had the dream like you did, maybe he'd still be here. However, y'all continue to teach our residents of how to take care of themselves, the techniques that y'all have come, the things that y'all have done. It's amazing, and very proud to brag on y'all as much as I can from within the parish and outside the parish. You've saved quite a few. I think my brother-in-law is one of them as well. So the list goes on and on. Like you said, Ms. Peoples, it has touched our families. Not myself, hopefully I never have to see you guys, because I'm learning how to have good cardiovascular health. So with that, I congratulate y'all on 30 years. I can't believe 30 years has gone by so fast, and how much I've grown. And with this partnership, how it's helped out so many people in Terrebonne Parish. Continue to grow, continue doing these studies and bringing things here. And hopefully people will get it and understand, you know, living here, the food's great, but also we have to think of ourselves and what you are, what you eat, and what you put into your body. So with that, congratulate you on 30 years.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hornsby?
Good afternoon. Sorry for being late, but I was in Houston today. I just made it back. Craig, I was just talking to Mr. Babin a couple of weeks ago about honoring not only you, but your whole family. Great bunch of doctors. Y'all have treated me since I was a kid when I burnt my leg and almost died. And y'all have been just a great asset to this parish. Who can forget the Herman Walker House? You know, every time they mention bus schedules, this bus goes to the Herman Walker House. I'll never forget that. But anyway, congratulations for doing such a good job.
9 of us.
Thank you, Mr. Hornsby. Mr. Babin?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Walker, Ms. Peoples, I want to thank both of y'all as a council person for what Terrebonne General and CIS does for this community. And personally, I'd like to thank Terrebonne General and CIS because I am a patient. I have been a patient. 19 years ago, I had an MI and had a stent done in the early years and then wound up having a bypass. And the great care at both places, I can't tell you how much I and my family appreciate it. So thank you very much for the good work. Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Babin. Mr. Navy?
Yes, Dr. Walker, I'd like to just congratulate you and your staff too, and I'm glad that you are a former Gator, by the way, also from South Terrebonne. I got to put that out there. But also, you know, a lot of people don't realize how you have redefined cardiovascular, not just locally, but basically worldwide. And I want to commend you on that. That's a wonderful effort to come from locally Houma, you know, to do something of that nature. And your staff is also great and wonderful. So I want to congratulate you for that. I know a lot of times you don't get those kind of kudos, but just the things that you have done and the lives that you have touched when it comes down to heart treatment is tremendous. So thank you and your staff and Terrebonne General for everything you do. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Navy. Mr. Claudet?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to add my own thanks for a number of reasons. One, it gives me great pride to be able to brag about things from Terrebonne Parish, and I can certainly brag about both of your institutions. I do know this, it adds a lot to the quality of care that we have and the quality of life we have in Terrebonne. In addition to that, it's quite an economic generator. I'd like to point out that on Monday night, we had a flood insurance program on HTV, and when I was leaving, Dr. Walker was coming in with another physician from another part of the country. And that physician had brought his brother down to Houma, Louisiana, to be treated by Dr. Walker because of the expertise and the skill in which he holds. I'm really proud when I hear things like that. It makes me feel good to be at the top of the rankings, and we thank you for the hard work that both of you have given. We appreciate it.
That came down actually wrote the textbook of peripheral vascular disease, and he's a professor emeritus at UCLA. So I think that says a lot for Houma.
And just to add, I ditto what many up here have said of how proud we are as a council and as a parish to have both of your institutions here that we can brag on you. And just so you'll know that whenever I do travel out of state, I do that. It seems that when life gives you lemons, you make lemonades, or maybe every cloud has a silver lining. So if we just have to be the capital of the world in something like cardiovascular disease, it's a good thing that you're here making the advancements that you do. And Terrebonne General, for anyone, I believe, who has lived in this area for a number of years, the hospital has touched lives. I thank you for the many heart patients in my family that we have been able to enjoy for several more years than otherwise because of the treatment they received. And I thank you on behalf of my family members who have either been born or been rescued through Terrebonne General. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.